Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Hood, and I'm the founder and CEO of ThisWay Global, and this is Diversity Cafe. Today, we have got Ken Norman joining us. I was so happy when Ken reached out because Ken represents millions of people who are looking for the right job. He is a candidate that went through the process with ThisWay, and he reached out to us and said, I would love to tell my story, and I could not be happier to have you on board today. Ken, thank you and welcome.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. So I know your story, but I would love it if you would kind of give people where you came from, how did you end up using ThisWay, and what was the experience like?
So absolutely. Obviously, I come from the oil and gas industry and operations. Hit COVID right as millions of people did,
Yeah.
and just got to the point to where I wasn't getting any feedback, and I know the landscape actually changed as far as the recruiting needs, and so I hit a wall, and I went to it was almost about 2 years where I wasn't getting any feedback, so I knew I had to change. So that's what brought me to ThisWay, and you guys just helped me streamline the process as far as strategically what do I need to do, and set a plan and execute. And and it was literally an immediate response, which was awesome.
So if I remember correctly, it was 2020 and you got laid off, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
around April 2020, and
Got it.
I started change. I redid my resume and put my information out there, and I got a few hits, but it was just a lot of, you had a lot of spam, candidates dealing with, you would go sign up, say a job board, and you trying to find a job, right? I'm not trying to find somebody to sell me anything, it's just or help bridge the gap to gainful employment. And so, I know there was tons of candidates out there, but yeah, it was just a lot of spam, you get a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise coming in my inbox, and it really made it that much more difficult. I already had a huge mountain to climb to get into quality uh, employers and to the jobs that's fitted my skill set. And that was a huge, huge challenge.
Yeah. So I hear this all the time, especially with the volume of layoffs that we have going on right now. We hear so much about that job seekers are just getting pounded with spam. And I've never understood that. It doesn't make sense to me. Like there's no business value for that, certainly not from ThisWay's perspective. So I'm glad that if that's what it took, that is what drove you to ThisWay. Yeah. So that's the flip side of that. So you hear about ThisWay, and what was it about ThisWay that you thought, okay, maybe this is a different path, and maybe provide additional, I don't know, opportunities for you?
So I would definitely say that you guys, what really brought me to it, you guys take the bias out of the recruiting process, right? And it's, giving someone a fair shot, like, hey, I have the qualifications, and getting those qualifications in front of the actual person to make those hiring decisions, whether it's recruiter, hiring manager, whatever that point of contact is. And that's what drove me to ThisWay, because I can get past all the noise exactly in front of that decision maker.
Well, and I think too, if I remember, you were laid off for about 2 years. You have a family, right? You have children.
Yes,
And
yes, big
so,
family. I have 4 kids,
oh my gosh.
and yeah, so they're very busy kids. So yeah, it was imperative, to get back to work. Very frustrating. I mean, I got to the point of where I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I know I have, I have a master's degree. I got about 20 years of work experience. Worked in oil and gas. Worked in the Middle East for the Department of Defense. So I had some great experience, and so I'm like, I need to do something to really, get my qualifications out there, because I just wanted to land the interview. Once I got the interview, I know I could, it could be a slam dunk.
So Ken, if I remember correctly, you are a father, you have 4 children, And as you're the leader in the family, and you're there saying, I have a graduate degree, a master's degree, I'm well suited for these roles, but you're not being seen for them. And the frustration that you shared with me was palpable. I was like, I felt it when you were talking about it. I'd love to hear what happens. Tell us a little bit more of your journey about you decide to start partnering with ThisWay. You'd already had your resume rewritten by someone. You'd paid someone to do that. And our system came back to you and said, here are some changes you need to make. And tell us what those changes are, and then what happened next.
Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I knew, being a breadwinner for my family, having a large family with a wife and 4 kids. I had my resume professionally done. I had my LinkedIn profile redone by that actual same company, and I still was not getting any results. My information wasn't getting in front of the decision makers, the recruiters, whoever that point of contact is. And so that's what led me to ThisWay. Okay, let me do something different. And I went you guys through you guys' process, I made those changes, made those specific changes on my resume. And once I made those changes, it was immediate feedback. I got it to the point, the immediate feedback of being unemployed for 2 years. And I actually got to the point where I had multiple offers on the table. It was like overnight, immediately.
So that is absolutely music to my ears, because that is what we want the experience to be. Obviously, I didn't want you to have to go 2 years, being unemployed or underemployed, but to be able to come through our program and be able to get that kind of support and tie you to such great companies. So that's incredible news for us. We are so happy. I would love for you to tell everyone now. So you get the points of interest that we point to you. We say, these are what we recommend. How did you feel about that? Did you think some of them were odd? Were you kind of like disbelieving, or just give us that general feel? And then also let me know, once you started sending your resume out, after the changes had been made, then what happened?
So specifically to the changes you guys, recommended, it made me look at those changes much more of a high level. I wouldn't have thought of to make those changes on my own. I would have thought a resume writer or a company, right, would make those changes, but I literally didn't see the changes. I mean, the resume writing company, yeah, they fix grammatical errors and format, but the specifics of you guys, it actually broadened the scope of work that I done. So it's like it's like the resume that I had, it minimized the things that I had done, the recommendations you guys implemented or recommended, and I made those changes, and it actually broadened up, to actually different sectors, different experiences. And once those changes were made, again, overnight, I started applying for different jobs. And again, immediate feedback. I had multiple interviews, to get ready to get scheduled. And that's when the multiple offers situation, materialized. So that's my experience. Again, it wasn't shooting it wasn't, I was hoping, right? But, hope and results like that it's like night and day.
So I want to tell you exactly what was happening in the background, just to explain it from a technical perspective. So we built some proprietary technology, and you'll hear a lot about other tech out there now that's AI powered, and there's a lot of noise about it. But this technology was built specifically at ThisWay, and it was built to understand who you are as a deeper person, and what type of jobs are out there that you may not have thought of, what types of companies are looking for people like you that you may not have realized were looking for you. And this is where the skills ontology of understanding you as a person, like a deeper level, and then saying, okay, let's tell the world that you have these skills. You don't even realize how important they are. And then it also makes the company understand who you are. And I think being able to present your individual value proposition to a broader range of employers that are also very focused on delivering fair recruitment processes. The combination of those two things is where we really see the lift. And to see that you experience that is wonderful. So now tell us the next step. So you start getting calls. What type of companies are contacting you, and how did things progress over the next couple of months?
So I actually had a mixture of I had top 100 companies, Fortune 100 companies contacting me, tech companies, and also there were governmental agencies as well. So it just brought in a obviously having the Department of Defense experience. It activated those companies of interest, and also tech companies as well, which is really really awesome. How the workforce is technology driven right now, and so now it's like, okay, now I see my skill set, I see my education and experience. Now I'm getting to the point where, okay, this is, I am hitting the companies and the organizations that I know, that have that value, especially with my experience and having a drought like that, throughout the 2 years throughout COVID, it was kind of like a redemption process. So it was a great experience to go through, getting the phone calls, having those tough interviews, because the interviews were tough, right? Stiff competition out there. I'm fine with that, but at least I'm in front of that person where I can showcase my skill set and tell them my stories and my accomplishments, and all those cost savings that on those deliverables that I've experienced over the last 15 plus years.
Yeah, it's just an incredible story. I think that people right now are sitting in some pain, right? They are being laid off. Some of them have never been laid off in their life. They're in positions that typically would not expect that, because they're in tech jobs and they're like, I thought I was safe. So I think it's so important for people to hear what you're saying about, like, don't let that rejection, or even like the black hole experience is what I call it, where you have nothing back. Don't let that get you don't let it undermine yourself. Stay confident, but also really take action on behalf of yourself. If you do not advocate for your own person, no one else is going to do that for you. And I think that's the thing about you that stands out against some other people that come through the platform, right? We make suggestions to them. The platform is looking at the resume, looking at the jobs that are out in the ecosystem. We're analyzing nearly every U.S. job open. We analyze it on a daily basis. And we're looking at that job base against you as a person and skills you have. And we're enabling you to better position yourself. And I hate it when people don't take the suggestions, because we know it really is making their access to opportunities is just smaller. And to hear you say, tech companies, Fortune 100 companies, the defense sector, all of these entities were looking at you, and they hadn't been looking at you before. You had been overlooked, and you were still the same person, still full of talent. So I think it's incredible. So tell us, give us an update on where you're at now.
So excellent. So I've been with my company for I guess going on 5 months now, and so it's just been a great experience. Being able to make an impact. Kind of in the whole logistics management field, and it's really really great to be a part of such of a company that's setting trends, right, and just kind of redefining the supply chain, especially when it comes to consumer products. And so yeah, that's kind of an update. I can't believe time flies when you're having fun, right? So yeah, it's almost when we get to summertime, it'll be 6 months. So yeah, that's kind of the update of and I can share the company too if it's okay with you guys.
Of course, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and the company that I work for is Amazon. So getting your product in the same day, logistics management, it just kind of works, right? The supply chain, it kind of works.
Well, and what an amazing story. You end up going from being overlooked to being hired by one of the biggest and most technically advanced companies in the world. I mean, it's incredible. So, from the perspective of going through the process, it sounds like that you felt like you were viewed for exactly the skill set that you bring in and that you weren't experiencing bias and that they were evaluating you exactly for your skill set and your capabilities and your experience. So how was that process?
That process was it was very it's very um, it was very refreshing to go through that process because you go to a point of not being seen for an extended period of time and to a point of, okay, I'm talking to an organization like this on a cutting trend of technology and innovation. And to obviously that fits into my not only, education, but my actually work experience. And so to get it into a position of where getting down to the last two or three interviews, and I'm getting feedback live, what we call it? It's, real time, as in I got the job. I knew I had the job before I got off the interview. Like that's how well the interview process went. But again, it was just just give me to the ball game. Give me to the tennis match. I'm a tennis lover. I played in college, but give me to the tennis match and I'll showcase my skill set. And that way, that was my experience. It was so refreshing. What's the word I'm looking for? Just it was a long time coming. So
Well, my view is that you earned that. So we helped you, but you're the one that had the education and had the experience and had the expertise and the skills and all of those things. Our technology is just able to help you expose them in the right way and make sure you see the breadth of opportunities that are out there. And I might have this wrong, but someone on my team told me that you got like 3 or 4 offers, right? That it wasn't just that you got one company offer. There were multiple companies that wanted to hire you.
yes, it was definitely multiple. I had 3 offers on the table. We had definitely 3 offers on the table. If I'd have waited a little bit longer, I think I would have got a fourth. But I had kind of sat on a few of those offers to really knew that which one I wanted to accept.
So from 2 years with no offers to in a span of a few weeks, you had 3 offers and you took a job with a company that you absolutely love. And I know that my team, said that you had reached out right after, or I think it was right the week that we were accepting the job, and you were so excited about it. But to now hear that 5 months later, you still love the company that you're working for and that you felt like that the process lived up to the promise of unbiased and fair and that you are being seen for who you are. It's just an incredible story. It makes everyone on our team absolutely ecstatic that you share these stories with us because we don't get to know this from everyone. And we try not to bother people when we know that they've just started a new job and you're busy and whatever. So for reaching out, we are so thankful because it brings us joy for what we do. And it makes every single day. Some days, we have hard days at work, and this is what empowers us to do more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I thank you guys for having me again. It's the ability to come in and hear the frustrations, right, from a customer service perspective. What are the actual needs of your client, right, of the job seeker, and then tailoring a process, whatever it is that you guys do, the technology, right, to meet the specific needs and to listen to the challenges, and then just the execution process to really get past all the spam, get past all the noise, and to get that information right in front of those decision makers is phenomenal. And I'm definitely grateful for it, and I'm glad I was able to reach out and be a part of a success story.
That's amazing, Ken. So tell me, if someone's listening and they're thinking about possibly going through work this way. So work this way is the new platform that's made specifically for candidates. We learned that candidates need specific things that are business to business platform didn't really enable correctly. And so we've expanded that for a new product line called Work This Way. And I would love for you to just discuss if someone's thinking about coming into Work This Way, or if they're thinking that they need to find a new job, or they need to maybe take a different look at their resume, what would your recommendation be to them?
My recommendation would be to, if you're having those difficulties, if you're hitting that brick wall, don't wait so long. Do your research, find out, reach out and find out how give you guys a call, give you guys a shot. And I promise you that Work This Way will work for you guys. I mean, it really makes the process simple. The technology and the processes is there, and just share what your goals are. Right? Talk to ThisWay and tell them what your goals are, what sectors you guys want to go and work in, and the actual jobs you're seeking, and the companies. Because I guarantee ThisWay will give you access to top-notch organizations and companies that you're looking for, and you guys will assist every step of the way to get over those hurdles. That will be my feedback to potential job seekers and somebody who's thinking about using you guys' services. That would be my feedback.
Well, I think another thing too is the fact that our partnership with IBM and Watson Orchestrate is going to speed up some of this process. Because what happened when we were working with you is, your job descriptions were sent to you, and you were like, these are the jobs I want to apply for, and then off you went, right? Well, the process on the employer side has been slower, because we didn't have a lot of automation built for the employer to reach out to you faster. And you were kind of at the cusp of when we were figuring all of that out and making sure that the job descriptions were being analyzed correctly, that we're making sure that those were not biased, and that then the recruiters were able to reach out to you faster, get you scheduled faster, get offers out to you faster. Everything has just sped up so much. And it's really because of a lot of the work that we've done with our partner, IBM Watson Orchestrate. And I'm loving the fact that we're at a point where we're about to be able to scale this out to all of the IBM customers as well. So it's not going to continue to be a small niche group of just 5,000 companies. That's who we work with now, but we're about to open this up to a much broader audience. And can you imagine the amount of people that are going to get jobs because of that expansion? It's absolutely, it's a true blessing for candidates.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really amazing that you guys are kind of opening, like expanding that pipeline, because that really gives you access to much more a broader audience company wise on a recruiting process, and then actually bridging that gap from taking out all the biases and even expanding that your technology and partnerships right with IBM. And so that's really phenomenal. That's going to help benefit so many job seekers and companies as well.
We're very fortunate. And I think that what we're hearing from the early customers that are using Watson Orchestrate and ThisWay together is they are shocked by the quality of talent that they have been overlooking. It's not because they didn't want to see them. They literally were not being surfaced. And a lot of it was because of the challenges that we found with your resume. As you said, you had your resume and your LinkedIn professionally written, and it just wasn't positioned correctly for you to maximize the volume of opportunities that you were suited for. So to see those things come together and now us be able to expand that out through the IBM partnership, I think it's absolutely incredible, as you said, just for companies and for individuals. And we wouldn't be able to do this well if we didn't have feedback from people like you and people reaching out to us and giving us that positive motivation to say, yep, you're on the right track. Keep going. It's making a difference in people's lives and in companies. So thank you again for joining us. I hope we will get updates from you periodically to say, this is how your life is at Amazon. And, I think we should be giving kudos to Amazon too for having a great experience for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, thank you guys. Yeah, definitely appreciate Amazon, giving me the opportunity and to at least go through the process, right? And then being selected. But absolutely. Thank you guys too. And thanks for having me. I will definitely be in touch.